What's up guys? Welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you'd like to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
They could hardly see them anymore, but the noises were overwhelming. Still, there were no shockwaves, not even a breeze. Nobody could comprehend the dimension in which the combat was occurring. This girl in a mask had rescued Masayuki previously, and now she was doing it once more. Although he was aware of that, he didn't think there was much he could do to assist this girl in his current state.
What then should we do?
There is nothing we can do about this. It is not something we can afford to worry about. Now that we're on our own and doing what we can, let's go assist the others.
Bernie could feel the sword strikes echoing in his ears, knowing that Feldway had targeted him. This enemy was on a different level, as evidenced by the fact he had been utterly powerless to respond to them. It was not that the present Bernie was weak, rather, it was because the difference in abilities between him and Feldway prevented them from ever engaging in a true battle. There was no use in going back and forth if that was the case. Bernie exemplified the simple, definite course of action that had been instilled in him throughout his time as a soldier.
Alright, I'm not sure who Chronoa is, but I'll leave it to her.
Masayuki was used to making things up on the spot when circumstances called for it. He chose to obediently depart the scene for that reason, so Chronoa and Feldway crossed swords, disregarding Masayuki and Bernie. But that was only the case temporarily. Numerous attacks and defenses have been played in a matter of seconds. The fight looked like it would never end until Feldway came to a realization.
It was here the entire time, I see. I was aware of it. Sir Veldanava wished for my victory as well.
What happened all of a sudden?
It's none of your concern. I don't mind telling you, actually, since we shall be companions from now on. Hope King Serial, follow my orders.
The order was absolute. When it came to Michael's ultimate dominion, the angelic ultimate skill was powerless.
What did you do?
Oh, are you still conscious? As the most powerful hero in the world, Chronoa, you live up to your reputation. But it is pointless to resist. It won't be long until you submit to my authority.
Feldway was overjoyed with his luck. The legendary hero Chronoa had a reputation for bravery throughout the Empire. It seemed a gift from God that the Hope King Sariel had taken root inside of her. Chronoa knelt, just as Feldway had predicted.
My name is Sariel. Give me your commands, Sir Michael.
As those icy words left Chronoa's lovely, cherry-colored lips, her mask fell away, revealing her true face and attractiveness. Feldway felt confident he would win now, and he made a grave error as a result of his self-assured confidence. He reasoned that it would be simple to accomplish his goal with Cornu of the three Phantom Commanders, one of his confidants, and the strongest hero, even though she wasn't the main body.
All right. You'll work with Cornu to take the boy's life. I have business to attend to on the surface, so I'll leave the rest to you.
After issuing his command, Feldway left the labyrinth. When Venom saw Bernie and Masayuki running back, he wanted to sigh deeply. It wasn't as if he had any grievances. He was starting to lose hope that he had failed in his objective when he felt a dreadful presence growing in the direction that Masayuki had fled.
I'm so glad you're all right.
Ha ha ha, we still have enemies, so it's too soon to say that.
You're right.
Venom acknowledged this.
Cornu is powerful. He is not only winning but also overwhelming us in the labyrinth, and I'm not even sure if I can survive at this point.
Nevertheless, for some reason, he felt relieved as soon as he saw Masayuki's face. He experienced an unexplainable surge of confidence that gave him the impression that there was always a way. Calgurio and Minutes appeared to be in agreement, and their countenances had improved.
I know it's a bad time, but I'm enjoying myself.
I agree with what you said. It really feels like I'm on the same battlefield as His Majesty.
The Imperial soldiers chuckled. It seemed that even the vampires, who had no business being involved, were becoming enthusiastic about the war. In the meantime, Cornu was bewildered. He'd been about to assault when another Masayuki had shown up. Cornu looked around, wondering if he had missed his spot, but a second look confirmed that there were two Masayukis. This implied that at least one of them was a fake. It goes without saying that one of them was the genuine Masayuki and the other was Jiwoo in disguise.
You underestimate me! How dare you! What a bunch of stubborn worms you are!
Cornu was furious, but he had no way of knowing which was the true one. His senses informed him that neither was more powerful than the other and that neither mattered. That made it even more problematic. They may both be involved and end up dead if Cornu became serious. There was no way of knowing where they would flee if that was the case. Therefore, Cornu knew he would need to stiffen his nerves even more so as to avoid committing a mistaken kill. And at that moment, assistants showed up.
Is it Sir Cornu? I'm Sariel. I am here as per Sir Michael's instruction.
Faster than anyone could follow, an unknown girl flew in and offered her assistance. Cornu had nothing to be suspicious about. Sariel was indeed imbued with Michael's aura, as she had suggested.
That would be helpful. Aim for the Masayuki on the right. Just capture him alive. Do not kill him.
Cornu had just identified the true Masayuki, whether it was luck or not.
Yes, sir.
Sariel? I don't really know what the heck Chronoa was talking about, but she switched allegiance to the enemy that quickly?
Masayuki was momentarily disoriented. Then all hope was lost to him. But Chronoa's beauty was so captivating that he didn't feel threatened. He was actually too preoccupied to be feeling anything.
What is it with that girl? She's adorable.
It was inappropriate, but the astonishment caused him to forget he was on a battlefield. A specific blonde-haired demon lord had also come to the same conclusion about her. She was a beauty for the ages. Along with other stupid complaints, Masayuki wished she would remove the mask permanently. Even if these ideas were foolish, they gave him a ray of hope. Sariel extended her hand to grasp her blade. Masayuki prepared himself mentally for death. His life flashed before his eyes in a haphazard, disorderly manner.
Oh my goodness, this woman is so gorgeous. She has had to be the most beautiful woman I've seen in my...
Then a cold shiver ran down his spine. His instincts for self-preservation were screaming at him to put this thought out of his head. He chose to have faith in them.
Actually, second hottest. Yes, second hottest, I think. Since number one must be.
The last beauty he had seen in his original world had blue hair, and that was the face he saw in his head.
Yes, exactly, that one. She was quite attractive and sexy at the same time.
Even Masayuki's near death did not stop him from living in his fantasies. Still, it was the right choice.
Detection of heroic real love. The unique skill chosen one will advance to the ultimate skill King of Heroes now that the fourth hidden condition has been satisfied.
What?
Masayuki was taken aback. He wasn't experiencing love in this way. All it was like was a kind of primal lust. Why was this voice in his head trying to make it sound good or something? It was really awkward. He wanted to complain to someone about it. Aside from that,
I didn't even do anything, so why am I getting an ultimate skill?
Inwardly, he cried out, condemning the voice of the world for going too far to justify all that. However, nothing could alter these outcomes. Moreover, acquiring an ultimate skill about whose purpose he knew nothing didn't exactly seem like a way to gain the upper hand versus Sariel in front of him.
I'm happy that I received this, even though it's a little late, you know? Well, at least I've gotten this far. If I'm going to die, I want to leave a big impression.
So Masayuki's face lit up with a brazen smile. It had a striking effect.
Defend His Majesty!
Without thinking about their own lives, the other troops who had been standing aside because they were in the way started carrying out suicide attacks. Since this was the result for those at greater distances, the effect for those up close was all the more striking.
Power is rising. I think I'm unbeatable.
Calgurio gave a loud scream and slashed at Cornu. Until now, Calgurio had been on the defense, but his sudden, frantic attack momentarily startled Cornu. Minutes was not going to be left behind.
Listen up, soldiers of the Empire. Let His Majesty the Emperor testify to our courage.
He did not remove his eyes off Sariel as he yelled these words to motivate the men, pressing forward with his oppressor. His unique skill shouldn't normally be able to counter an ultimate skill. This time, however, the attack was successful in forcing Sariel to retreat, albeit only slightly, and the vampires were in full swing.
This is amazing! Right now, I feel amazing and like I can do anything.
Even though his carelessness had blasted off the lower part of his torso, someone was smiling while forcing an attack.
Taste the warmth of my powerful energy beam.
They kept going, died, came back to life, and did the whole process over and over again without any care.
Ha ha ha, this is really enjoyable.
Some were even utilizing their ability to rise from the dead to protect the other soldiers as human shields. It was far more than just intense. This was an unprecedented, massive, and violent onslaught. How could they have done that? It was all, of course, due to Masayuki's ability. In contrast to his prior, unique, level skill, his new ultimate skill, King of Heroes, may offer the bare minimum of defense against ultimate skills. The only people who could resist the ability were those whose existence value was at least 100,000. Those without such a value were nonetheless fortunate. Masayuki would defend anyone who was one of his followers. An actual tipping point. It really threw off the fight's entire equilibrium. It seemed incredible that he could turn the tide of battle on the field by himself. And Masayuki would never have awakened to it if he hadn't had the opportunity to glimpse Chloe Aubert's unmasked face right now. Maybe now, it would be evident how grave a mistake Feldway had committed. In any case, the battle had reached a stalemate. The scene was dominated by this extremely delicate equilibrium for a little longer than 10 minutes. That was obviously not going to be enough to beat Cornu and Sariel's tag team, but in all honesty, the fight was already over. All the pathways came together when Masayuki released his ultimate skill. Now the time had arrived, with the soldiers finally buying themselves enough time. Velgrund was no longer in this world. The wheels of fate started to turn at the same moment.
Confirmed. Through time and space, a soul corridor has been established with the individual named Velgrund.
What?
That figure appeared just as Masayuki was starting to get more perplexed. He initially believed it to be just a massive amount of energy. However, that was untrue. The figure was humanoid, the shape of a very lovely, nostalgic woman. The scorched dragon, Velgrund, had now manifested, her unique dazzling blue hair gleaming in a red aura of dominance. The power to subdue all of creation could be seen in her gaze. Time seemed to have stopped, as no one dared to move. Sariel was the same, waiting silently for Cornu's orders. Nothing more could be anticipated, given that this new entity had just recently been formed within her body. This was instantly recognized by all of the Imperial soldiers present. Having protected the Empire for so long, this was the most powerful figure that had ever existed. It was rumored that she and Veldora were engaged in combat at the moment, but it appears that this was untrue as she was seen hugging Masayuki. This tender action has just one reason. She had feelings for him.
Ridra, I was searching for you. For so long, I've wanted to see you.
As she held Masayuki close, she closed her eyes. She then placed both of her hands on his head and kissed him tenderly. This was not how Masayuki had imagined things would turn out. His head started to boil. All capacity for reason was gone in an instant. He was hugged by a terrifyingly beautiful woman, which was all well and good. However,
My first kiss.
The combination of Velgrund's natural beauty and his casual attire, consisting only of a t-shirt and jeans, resulted in an exceedingly hip appearance. She was giving him a kiss. If he said he didn't like it, he would be lying. But here was one crucial point he could not overlook. He was just called Rudra by this beautiful woman.
Holy crap, she really believes that I'm someone else.
This wasn't the time for him to just stand there and say, "I'm sorry, but I think you got the wrong guy."
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. A big thanks to the AnimeKouhai patrons who made this video possible. Zach Rosen, Jerry Sladek, Stone Larone, Ekotski, Foolish Prophets, Ethan Madison, Charles Bailey, Sky T, Diego Ginoza, Nick H, Andre Hamilton, Jason Torres, Sedney John Rementizo. Thank you so much for helping out. I'll see you guys in the next video.